That would mean government investments. Okay? Government investments are just starting to build a national fiber backbone. You need that. The private industry can't do that. They never get the payback on broadband investments is 25 years. It's like building a road. So those investments are just starting to be made. There's about 65,000 crores being spent on the infrastructure between now and the next 3 to 4 years. When that is done, I have no doubt in my mind that India will be the largest internet market in the world with about 300 million broadband users compared to the present 10 to 12 million. So it's a scale. So by that time, when this arrives, all your business ideas will be there. Go for it. Watch out for one or two things. As for some peculiar reasons, as I mentioned, the early success examples, Yahoo, Google, Facebook, have all been in media. But I'm not sure that's where the future lies. I think the really big companies will get built in healthcare. Some of these guys are trying to do that. It will be in delivering justice very fast, speeding up the decision making in courts, in education. There are mega opportunities in education. These three are going to be the really big ones. There will be many smaller ones. But you must, please, if you do not remember anything else, think of the Bandra ceiling. Do not start an internet business by looking at the old concepts of industry. In the industrial era, as you must have been taught in all the IIMs, you got your efficiencies in supply-side economies of scale. You have a fixed cost, and then you have increasing returns, and it's embedded as an assumption inside your head that is how you will make profits in a business. In the information age, you have to first erase supply-side economies of scale. There are some very successful business exist even today in the internet, among internet companies just doing that. The internet and the web work through things called network effects. Those are demand-side economies of scale. So there's a fundamental difference. It is very, very tempting, particularly if you look at the idiotic VC community we have in India. So they push you into things that they know. They try and make you build a Bandra ceiling. Whereas the issue might be stay at home and work using broadband. You don't need to come here. There's a fundamental assumption change. So this is the opportunity in the next 18 months. And you will use if you are not extensively using machine learning, if you're not focused on creating network effects, it's not a true internet business. So you just remember that. There are challenges, of course, because by now the international companies have built giant worldwide networks, Google and Facebook and so on. You must learn how to deal with it. Because if you can, if you lived in the Mughal era, you can be a Mansabdari and say, I joined the Mughals, and please let me collect revenue in this corner of India, and I will give you soldiers. So most Indian companies today are in that situation. They're Mansabdaris of those larger international networks. But I hope you will, this year, all of you guys, will think bigger and create those worldwide networks from here. So am I talking gibberish is making some sense? You want any elaborations, ask me. I'm sorry.
Well, Ajit keeps talking about how much you've learned in IIM, but I'm not sure how much you've learned in IIM. So whether we should really even remember what we learned in IIM. So, yeah. So Ajit mentioned something called idiot VCs. What do you think, Aditya? Because a lot of us in this room think that probably we need to start a business. If somebody funds it, the goal would be at least to start it and then seek funds, and then only one could scale it up further. Do you believe that?
So I actually beg to disagree with Aditya. People are not idiots. I mean, they're trying to get returns on their money. And yes, they are quite conservative. And VCs here, or VCs in Silicon Valley, today are actually not the first call when you make that when you want to raise funds. That's essentially because the cost of starting an internet business has come down substantially. I can get a domain name for 5 years for about 3,000 rupees. I can get hosting for a year, pretty good hosting at that for 10,000 rupees. That's good enough for you to get started. I mean, I have 2 people here. They just got started fine without any VC investments. So that's something that we probably need earlier. So given that, VCs essentially today are looking for proof that there's business. So they want to see traction. Second, they want to see rapid growth. Now, I can't blame them for trying to protect their money. At the end of the day, they manage risks. So if you have these two things, traction, growth, profitability, that's where you get funded. The problem in India is that the first port of call for an early stage entrepreneur is the angels. Now, angels in India really do not exist. You've got some angel associations where you can go and try and raise funds, but the way the process runs today is when 200 applications received in a month, and about 4 reach the final stage. And pretty much everybody is looking at each other's faces and saying, okay, who's going to be the first guessing is selected. And then there's a herd mentality, which means that while there are angel groups with 150, 200 members that you'll see, there are actually truly, if you're looking at about 10 or 20. And in each city I can count them on my hand. And each one of them either are in internet business themselves or they understand it because they've been entrepreneurs themselves. So yes, I think there is a lack of funds at that stage, but that's a problem that's kind of getting solved in a bit. There is a surge of incubators that is happening, which essentially gives you 3 lakh rupees and they give you some assistance, some mentoring to get off the ground. They are still learning the game. I will not take any names right now, but there are some really bad ones that you should just completely avoid because they start dictating as if you've just taken a job. So they will give you money at the end of the month and they want a status report every day. So there are bad ones like that. And there are really good ones saying that, hey, how can I help? So maybe that's an offline discussion or maybe that's when you come down and start Saturday. But somebody, I think, over the last 10 years that I've kind of looked at this entire space, it's a lot easier because it's cheaper to start a business. Internet penetration is going up, which means that it's easier to and it takes lesser time to acquire customers. And investment climate, in spite of whatever I said or Ajit said, it's actually a whole lot better than when Ajit started.
Okay, Amit, now we just have the last 2 questions which we throw it open to the audience. I just want you to tell me if somebody wants to start a business or leave his job or just start a business and maybe grow it a little and take it to a stage where he's feeling that it's making enough traction, enough money, and then he or she can go into full-time. How would you, in brief, if you can advise them? And of course, if you all want more details, I think all of them, you could probably email or be in touch with them. I think Aditya must share the names of the ones who avoid. So that's the whole point of having this community, that we can share these things with each other. Otherwise, you learn it the hard way.
Well, Ajit mentioned something very interesting when we were interacting. He said the concept of fail fast cheaply. I think the internet is something that allows you to do that very quickly, wherein you can take an idea, execute it, and within a week, fortnight, a month, you can actually figure out if it is working, it's not working, does it keep you pointing or not. Can I have a rough poll in the room? What kind of money does it take to start a business, end-to-end internet business? If you were to start today and then actually get your first customer, realistically, what is the sense? Anybody?
Less than 11. 10,000 rupees?
Sure. Any other numbers? Okay, it runs a range from 10,000 rupees to 10 lakh, that's the goal. Well, actually, it is contingent on you, and Aditya did mention domain and hosting. But things have come to such a stage wherein starting internet business, the tactical part of it is going to get as easy as opening a Facebook account or a Gmail account, really. So my sense is that 2 things, time and money. You can have a business up and running, open to customers in as little as 15 days. And you can do it in as little as 20,000-25,000 rupees, less than that. You don't need VC funding. You don't need to take, as Aditya mentioned, you don't need to report to somebody and then have them on your back. So, while we can definitely have an offline discussion on how to do it, but it's extremely easy like that. There's a site called Shopify.com, you can go and explore it. And you can actually, for the purpose of this seminar, I actually tested this yesterday. Again, I'm teaching this, but can I actually do it? And yesterday, in 2 hours, I was able to set up the site end to end, not utilizing what I already know, but as a layman. So certainly the tools are now already in place, and in the next 6 months they will be even more streamlined. The basic thing is really the idea, and if you can take out 1 or 2 hours a day, I mean after your job, and that's exactly what I did also. I mean, I had dedicated a spare bedroom, and I used to spend 1.5 hours a day after my Citibank job. And certainly, I mean, it's very easy to start getting customers. And trust me, the thrill of getting an order, the thrill of the first customer, and then the customer referring your product to somebody else, that is undescribable. No amount of money, as Siddharth mentioned, no amount of money can match that really. So my sense is that you should just start, and you should have a deadline in front of you. If you need the money, I mean, 20,000-25,000 is not a lot of money. Do not start with the VC first, validate your idea, and then only, I mean, once it takes off and it starts making serious money, then only think about investments and funds for scale-up purposes. So that's all from my end.